are going to hear more about how does it feel to build and grow a transportation startup. A demo and Q&A session will be here on stage discussing all the ins and outs with Julian Padurariu from GetPony and CruiserAviation. He's the founder, the main behind, in an open discussion with Gyula, Feher, Ustream founder and business angel. Guys, please. It's the spotlight. So these are your mics.
Thank you. I think we should sit there. Take it easy on the camera guy. So, hello everybody. With me on stage we got Julian Padurariu, founder of GetPony and CruiserAviation. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Before we jump into this, how many of you knows how to drive a car? Come on. All right. How many of you have used the car sharing service where you are driving the car? Uber doesn't count here. Okay. How many of you know how to drive a plane? Even if it's a small plane? Maybe. Flight simulator? Okay. It's not a lot. Okay. Long shot. How many of you have used a plane sharing service? Nada. Okay. Julian, I will give you the floor to do a quick overview of what you have done and what you're up to, and then we can have a little chat.
Okay, thank you. First of all, you, Gyula, have a very nice picture here.
Oh yeah,
you
it's a great photo, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I'm very glad to be here to share with you a little bit of my previous experience regarding the car sharing service, which I founded in Romania in 2015. Since 2000, I think, since last year, it's operational also in Bucharest, but for the first 2 years we focused on the city of Cluj-Napoca for different reasons. The main reason is the geography of the city, because it's very crowded, and it's like probably even more crowded than Bucharest. And the second reason was let's say the buying power of the average buying power of the people in Cluj-Napoca, which is kind of similar to the capital city of Romania. And we had a chance for the first 2 years to do a lot of experiments in terms of what I like to call nowadays service design, because the design of the whole process of enrollment, of the pricing of the service and everything was a process with a lot of iterations in the city of Cluj. And then after about 2 years, we decided to expand the service in Romania, and we are still the first and the largest service provider for car sharing, which is one of the trends in the world regarding the urban transportation. Probably nowadays you are familiar with the system. Basically, one of the pioneers of this was some village in Switzerland in 45, like half a century ago. They shared some automobiles in the village, but in the current days there were some other examples, and the main pioneers of the service are Car2Go and Drive Now. Probably you are, again, today you are familiar with that. But for us, back in 2015, it was such a big challenge to explain to the insurance companies, to explain to the financial institutions what we intend to do and how a car could be shared among different users. Also, we had a lot of challenges regarding the local authorities. Even if Cluj is labeled as I don't know, the smart city and the very, very smart city of Romania, it's still in the very beginning as regarding the acceptance of novelty, and we had a lot of challenges. And basically what Gyula asked you a little bit earlier, what about flying? Basically we try to move all the experience that we build in a car sharing system to move it in aviation. Because it might sound crazy, but to some extent, what I like to make a joke about this is ground transportation is so 2017. Nowadays, Airbus is experimenting a lot of flying services around the world. They are doing in Sao Paulo a helicopter service for urban mobility. There is a startup in Germany that also in the beginning of 2018, they did the first drone, sort of speak, flight in Dubai. So for sure, what we look at the cities nowadays and at the transportation solutions for the big cities will be a mixture, probably starting from kick scooters, as we had some examples a little bit earlier, towards bicycles, towards vans, car, shared or owned or whatever, towards probably air. And from my own experience, basically, I realized that the concept of flying sounds very mystical. As we discussed a little bit earlier, a lot of people, they have a kind of a, I don't know, a barrier. Thinking about flying is something very complicated, is something very difficult, is something very inaccessible. So our focus was, in the last half a year, to smooth out all these sort of barriers and to try to provide a service design and a complete solution that could allow to anyone to move towards a pilot license and to be, let's say, able to share a plane with anyone. So basically our service nowadays is very simple. We can obtain you easily a license. Of course, you need to do some tests, and then you are able to share a plane immediately. With all the problems solved from the financing point of view towards the insurance, which is something a little bit more complicated, but maybe we can talk about that later, and to everything what it means in maintenance, to what it means allowance for flying and so on. So this is what we have done lately.
That's great. I know it's so 2017, but just one quick question on GetPony. Yeah. My understanding is that you were CEO and founder for 3 years there. So you started from zero. What was the traction like? How many cities, how many cars, how many daily rides by the time you moved on?
Yeah, I have to dig out my memories. In 2015, basically this is the first startup that I founded with no money at all. And it's the most successful. People are inviting me here on this scene because of Pony. But Pony is the least capital, let's say, involvement from my side startup that I founded up to now. I had, I think, 3 or 4 other failures before with a lot of money put in those projects, a few tens of thousands from my own money or from different, different investors. But because of all those failures, probably, the Pony arrived in 2015 with a simple landing page that I think I built on Unbounce in that period of trial. And in the first 14 days, I got subscriptions for about 300 people. They wanted to use a car sharing service in Romania, in Cluj.
That's called good timing. And where did you get to in 3 years?
Now we have more than 15,000 users, which might not sound a lot, but for us, it's a huge step, because every car that is used in the sharing service, they say that eliminates about 10 to 12 cars in the traffic, like normal used cars, which is, if you multiply to 10, it sounds like about 150,000 drivers are sharing this service. And what is very interesting for us is that the age of the users are not only, yeah, there is a bump at around 23 to 26 years of age, but we have users up to 60s, in their 60s, which is, for us, it's a great sign that acceptance of this service can go towards people that are not very technologically educated as a perception. And
how many cars do you have in the fleet now?
now
give or
Pony runs about 300 cars in Cluj, in Bucharest, and we just launched the service. I mean, Pony just launched the service in Alba Iulia as a welcome, let's say, welcome note to Romania 100. That is going to be like a big fest in December now. So in 3 years, with not that much money invested, with a lot of bootstrapping, because those 300 people that enrolled in 15 days actually brought us a lot of attention from media, brought us a lot of attention from investors, and a lot of support from the car industry, basically.
Congratulations on your success there. Now, pivoting into flights. I guess you don't have 300 airplanes yet. So how many airplanes do you have? Do you have airplanes? Is there a fleet?
Yes, there is a fleet. We have 3 planes nowadays.
Okay, that's 3 more than I got. So that's good. How much does a plane? These are small 2-seater planes.
Yeah.
How much does a plane cost? Educate us.
Well, you can. In terms of the capital needed for such venture, you have to keep in mind that such small plane, which is called a trainer plane, it's a 2-seater, and it costs around 150,000, let's say, price list.
That's more than a car. So
yes, but some cars are more expensive than this.
I know.
Yeah.
But basically, so your target customers are people who are who already have a license to fly, but are still new and are looking to train themselves, to gather hours so they can move up to more complex licenses. Is that your target profile?
Yeah, basically our vision is that, as I said a little bit earlier, is to open this market to basically anyone. Anyone that is interested in flying can access such services easily, with no hassle regarding the financing or the insurance or anything else. And the core service nowadays, as you ask me, is to offer this fleet of planes to people that would like to move on in their pilot education towards commercial license. Because if I may say a kind of a parallel with the car consumption, you need about 200 hours of flying to move from one license to the next license. And currently in Romania, and maybe in a lot of other Eastern European countries, it's kind of difficult to find the machine to fly with, and to find the insurance, and to find all the other details related to such activities. And what we have done with all the knowledge from the previous experience was to add a very smooth service, anyone basically being able to fly a plane by hour. So our pricing model is about €2 per minute. You can get into the plane easily.
So when and how is this, and where is this service going to be accessible? If a friend from the audience, let's assume you have a license, if he wants to run to the airport and use one of your planes for €2 a minute, it seems low to me. But I mean, what is it? Is it open? Is it accessible? Is it going to be soon?
Yes, now. It's available now, basically. I mean,
is there an app? Like I can just...
There is a booking platform, as any other booking that we know, like booking a hotel room or booking a car rental in the city. There is an app for that. You have to validate your ID, your license, and you can go to the airport.
Through the app, I show you my pilot license, you
look
it up and say, I'm good to go?
Yeah.
And
with face recognition, I mean, with all the features that nowadays they seem to be, let's say, common in the car sharing business, from validating the driving license through the app and validating your ID, your person through the app with the face recognition solution, is basically the same system.
And what's your plan for scaling this up from 3 planes to 3,000 and many more cities? What's your plan there?
The plan is to build this solution in a sort of a franchise system. So any flying school or any flying instructor that would like to offer training for his students could access our solution, and that person or that organization would get a package, a full package, the plane and the procedures, and they are good to go.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds simple to me. I think it's simple to anyone.
It's simple, right? You just go and fly. Thank you, Julian. Our time is up. This has been incredibly exciting. Best of luck with your venture.
Thank you. We'll see.
I won't promise I will be a client soon, but I know people who will be. So thanks again and best of luck.
Yeah, and I invite you whenever you want to fly, let's fly.